Hey everyone, welcome back. Now let's add CD in CI/CD, that is continuous deployment, with setting up automatic deployment with Vercel. Now if you have never used Vercel before, no worries. Here's how to get started step by step. Firstly, let's go to vercel.com and here we need to click on the sign up button. Now we have two options here. I will select the first one and I'll enter my name and I'll click on continue. Now here you can choose any of these options. I will choose continue with Google. I'll choose my Google account and I'll click on continue. And just like that, you are signed up. Now we need to import our GitHub repository. To do that, I'll click on continue with GitHub. And I'll click on authorize Vercel. So what it does is it links your GitHub with Vercel. So you can automatically deploy your projects. Now let's go to dashboard. And here I will click on add new to create a new project. So here it is still asking me to add my GitHub account. I'll click on it and I'll click on install. Okay, now just like that, I can see all my GitHub repositories right here. So here I can see my GitHub repo that I need to deploy to Vercel. So I'll click on import. Okay, so here you can see the name of your project. If you want to change it, you can do that. And if you are using any of these frameworks, then you can select that. For my installation command, it is npm install. So I have entered that. And after that, you can also enter any environment variables. My repo currently does not uses any of these. So I will leave it as blank. But yeah, if you need, you can add these key value pairs. After that, I'll just click on deploy. And just like that, you can see that the application is deployed here and you can click on it to see your application running. You can also click here to continue to dashboard. Now, if you want this application to be accessible on a particular domain, you can use this option to do that. And you can also click on continue to dashboard. And here you can see all the analytics of this deployment. And also you can copy this URL and share it with your team, with your friends to show off your application. So this is one of the ways you can use to deploy to Vercel, but this is not what we need, right? We need to deploy this using GitHub Actions. So let's see how we can do that. So firstly, we need to go to Vercel accounts. So I'll click right here and I'll click on account settings. And here you will see this option tokens. So this is the first time we are here. So there are no tokens, but we can create one. I'll create the token name as, so I'll name the token as GitHub Actions, and the scope will be your first option, or you can select the second one if you want it to be accessible on the whole account. You can set the expiry date to whatever you want. Usually it is recommended that you do not use no expiration for security purposes. So I'll do a 60 days expiration and I'll click on create. And just like that, this new token is created. So I'll copy this token. Okay, so now we have the token. So firstly, let's add this token to GitHub as an environment secret because we don't want this to be accessible by everyone, right? So to do that, we can go to our GitHub repo and then click on settings. Now again, if you do not see this settings tab, that means you are having some access issues and you can raise a request or ask someone, maybe your manager, who might have this access. And we need to scroll down and click on secrets and variables. And then I'll click on actions. And right here, I'll add this new repo secret. I'll name the secret as Vercel token. And I'll paste my secret right here and click on add secret. And just like that, my first secret is added. And we need a few more things. Let's go to vercel.com again. And here we need our Vercel account ID. So we can go to general and then I'll scroll down and here you will see this user ID. So this is your account ID. You need to copy this as well. And let's add it to GitHub Actions. So again, I'll click on new repo secret and I'll name it as Vercel user ID and I'll paste it here and I'll click on add secret. Now there is one more thing that we need, that is our Vercel project ID. And to find that, firstly we'll go to our dashboard and click on the project that we have just deployed, and we need to click on this settings And right here we can see our project ID. So I'll copy this as well and I'll again add it to my GitHub Actions secret. So again, I'll click on new repo secret, and then I'll name it as Vercel project ID. Paste that secret here and click on add secret. So now we have all the 3 secrets set up that we need for our GitHub Actions deployment. Now let's go to our Visual Studio Code and add us continuous deployment workflow. So now here you can make this as a separate workflow if you want this to run irrespective of like your tests passing or failing. But I want this to run only when my tests are all passing. So to do that, what I will do is I will click on run tests, and this job runs my tests, and I want this to run only when this particular job is passed. So what I will do is I will add another job here that is to deploy, and I will add needs. So what does this means is like this needs firstly this build job to pass. If this build job is failed, then this deployment will not be triggered. Now again, I need to run on Ubuntu latest, so I'll copy and paste that, and then I'll add steps. The first one will be the exactly same that checks out my code. Then my application also needs Node version 18, so I'll add that. So uses actions setup node at v3 with Node version 20. Now I need to again run npm install first, and after that the next step will be deploy to Vercel. So I'll name it as deploy to Vercel. So here firstly we need to export our token. So to do that, I'll do npx Vercel token, and here we need our token. So I will use this syntax. So this is what we named our Vercel token. So I'll copy that and I'll paste it here so that we can get our Vercel token here. So I will need here my token, then dash dash production. So I'll add prod dash dash, and with this I should be able to deploy to Vercel. But I need 2 more environment variables here, so I will add those. So first one is Vercel org ID. So I'll add that Vercel org ID, and we also need Vercel project ID. Now similarly, I will be using both of these as well here. So I'll copy paste this, and the next thing is I can copy my user ID and add it here, and my project ID right here, and that's it. Let's just commit it and let's see how it goes. Okay, now let's just push this and go to my GitHub and go to pull requests. So here we can see our new branch. So I'll create a new PR and I'll name it as Vercel deployment, and I'll leave the description as vacant as this is only a tutorial. I'll click on create pull request. So let's check the logs of our run tests. So here, as you can see, our run npm install worked, and now it is trying to deploy to Vercel. And as you can see here, the deployment is complete. And also you can see in the logs this URL to the application. So if I click on it, it first authenticates me, but since I am already logged in, it opens my application. And just like that, you will be able to deploy your application using GitHub Actions. And also if you see on your dashboard here, you will be able to see this new deployment, and whenever a new deployment happens, you will be able to track it right here. And just like that, using GitHub Actions, you can deploy to Vercel or anything else. Actually, the process for deploying to Heroku or npm or whatever you are using is exactly the same. The only thing that is going to differ is your tokens and your deployment thing. So for example, if you are using something else, for example Heroku, then in that case you will be adding Heroku tokens and whatever is needed there, and then you can run similar command for Heroku that you can use from your terminal to deploy it, and the same will work on your GitHub Actions as well. And you can also modify when you want this job to run, right? So for example, currently it is on push, but let's say if I want this to run only on push when the branch is main, so you can do that. Or if you want to run when a PR is closed, you can do that. And let's say you want to run this job when some more jobs are passing, then you can add needs, build, and some more jobs. And once all those are passing, then only this particular job will be triggered. In this way, you will be having the complete control of when you want to deploy your code to development, QA, release, or production environment. And that's it for this video. In the next one, we will learn how we can use matrix builds and parallel jobs in GitHub Actions to speed up your CI/CD. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.